Do I bother you?
Don't waste yourself.
What's your style?
My style? You can call it the art of fighting without fighting.
The art of fighting without fighting? What's your style?
My style? You can call it the art of fighting without fighting.
Shalom, shalom, giving our praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yehoshai, Bahashem, Harakak, Wadash, giving double honors to all the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, the house of David is rising. Gonna entitle this video, The Art of Fighting Without Fighting. Checking out a couple of clips, and yeah, the proof is in the pudding, man. For those of us that are into the prudelism of the art of boxing, the sport, the business. Some say it's not a sport because you can't play a boxing, but you can play it. Most other sports you can play them, but you can't play a boxing. So the proof is in the pudding, man. Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, they had their face off Saturday, and I want to listen to some things of what the trainer had to say, and I'm going to let you just hear the audio for now, you know, to avoid any unnecessary stupidity from YouTube. But with that Enter of the Dragon little clip you just heard, Bruce Lee said, when the man was, you know, shaping up and throwing shadow boxing in front of him, trying to intimidate him, and he answered, and he said, and the man asked him, what's your style? And he said, you can call it the art of fighting without fighting. Now, for those of us that are in the truth, we have the same attitude. We do fight. We fight for the truth, and we strive for the truth because we want to get those crowns. So whether you're aware of it or not, if you're in this truth, you are a fighter. You're in the sweet science of fighting without fighting. Let's check out some what Terence Crawford trainer said, Bomac. Because I found it, I listen to trainers and I watch people train. You know, I observe a lot of these things when it comes down to the art of pugilism, the art of martial arts, and all different styles I'm into. But I learn from the trainers as well. There's things you can pick up from trainers. And he's a good trainer too. Let's check him out. Well, Terence Crawford's trainer, his name is Brian Bomac. They call him Brian Bomac. They call him Bomac for short. Let's check him out.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Marcos Villegas for Fight Up TV, powered by Stagefront VIP. Being joined with Coach Bomac ahead of this Terence Crawford, Errol Spence undisputed fight.
Oh, just to let you know, this was a month before the fight, before they faced off. Before Errol Spence and Terence Crawford faced off, they asked Bomac, the trainer of Terence Crawford, the couple of questions a month before the fight. And the title of the video is Crawford trainer Bomac says excuses will come from Spence once Terence Crawford finishes him. That's the title of the video.
I'm so excited for this. I know you guys have been wanting this fight for a very long time. Just overall, what does this fight mean to you as Terence's trainer, and what it can do for you personally?
Me personally, man, I don't try to look at it to do anything for me. Because at the end of the day, the fighters got to get in there. Once my job is done and I complete my job and do what's asked of me as far as training Terence and keeping him focused throughout camp, and then years down the line, then I may be able to tell the world about, you know, the preparation leading up to it. But right now, me as myself, I'm just gonna get myself prepared, and my team and Terence and everybody else around us to dominate this fight.
You knowing Terence and knowing that he's been wanting this fight for many, many years, you know, how bad does he want this one? Like, what does he tell you day in and day out about this fight?
One thing I hear from Terence is, from day in and day out, is he wanted to be considered the best in the sport. Like he said, of this era, of this Terence Crawford era. And it's not something that, you know, he just thought about, in the last couple fights. It's something he's been preparing his whole life for. And to finally get this moment, when this moment comes, this fight is finally developing now, I'm ecstatic and to be a part of a history-making moment when Terrence finishes this dude.
Switch to Chrome to load your favorite sites fast, so you can browse with ease. Fast.
So we've got to skip the ad.
I'm ecstatic as a fan to be able to watch these two guys fight. I'm ecstatic as a fan. I'm ecstatic.
Moment come, this fight is finally developing now. I'm ecstatic and to be a part of a history-making moment when Terrence finishes this dude off.
I'm ecstatic as a fan to be able to watch these two guys fight in their prime. You know, when you look at the fight and just seeing how Terrence's demeanor is, like when I look at him, I see like he has like no doubt like that he knows he's going to win this fight. I know it's going to be difficult, but you as his trainer, how difficult is it going to be preparing for someone like an Errol Spence?
It's not, to be completely honest with you, for Terrence to be excited and enthused about going in there and proving what he's been telling the world all along, is actually an easy job for us, because once you get a person that is on a mission, they're going to do everything is impossible to their ability to prepare themselves to go out there and be great. We can train the fighter all day long, day in and day out, for weeks and months and time after time again, but in reality, it comes from the fighter. It's come from the heart. And it makes a job easier for me and the rest of the coaches, because it ain't no getting him up to go. It's slowing him down. So for a fighter of that caliber, man, it's phenomenal to see.
When we see the fight, what do you feel is going to separate Terrence? Like, how is it going to go down? Because we hear Errol.
And I'm applying this as a teaching moment. Yeah, I like some of the words, and I'm going to apply it in for a teaching moment. You know, we're going up against Goliath. You know, for those of us that are in this truth, we're going up against Goliath, but we got something far superior to the carnal. We got the Most High, man. You understand? Just like David had the Most High, the Spirit of the Lord. So this is going to be a teaching moment when I'm going to entitle it The Proof is in the Pudding, or the art of fighting without fighting. And I like what he just said there. It's not about getting Terrence up for a fight. When he's up for it, it comes from his heart. It's about slowing him down. We might be able to, some of us may be able to relate to that.
When we see the fight, what do you feel is going to separate Terrence? Like, how is it going to go down? Because we hear Errol is going to say, or he said, I'm going to physically and mentally break Terrence. People have said his work rate should be a big concern in this fight, or could be. You know, what do you think we are going to see, and what separates Terrence in there?
I think you're going to see a performance that is been viewed by many people around the world. And for Errol to say, I'm going to come and break you, he just throwing fuel on the fire, because that's a challenge that Terrence wants. And he going to make sure that he remind him of what you said, just by his boxing IQ, his power, his will, determination to finish this dude off.
I just want to remind you, this was last month. This video was last month before the fight. The fight was on Saturday, and we saw what happened, man. The proof is in the pudding. A picture does paint 1,000 words. And I you know, I'm gonna say, I saw it coming too. For those that know me know, I saw it coming. It's about the being intuitive, the instincts. Boxing is not just about getting in the ring and slugging it out. There's a lot goes on, as we've been hearing. There's a lot goes on.
One would say Spence has those same qualities. Would you agree with that, or is there something there that Spence can't match that Terrence has?
You know, I can't take nothing away from Spence, and you probably 100% right. But being around this kid since birth, to see what he went through from day one to July 29th, just believe me in my heart that leaves no doubt that he will win.
Now, when we see the fight, do you think it goes all 12 rounds, in your personal opinion?
Well, just looking at the way that, you know, how bad Terrence wanted to fight, and how much he prepared, and what gears it in now. We probably gonna be prepared to go 24 rounds, but if he hurt it, he gonna stop him. So that already tell you something.
You know, me speaking with a lot of trainers, they're picking Terrence. One, I would imagine it's not a surprise to you, but I'm curious, like what are they seeing that maybe the normal boxing fan doesn't see when it comes to this fight, as to why so many trainers are siding with your fighter?
Because those are real boxing fans. Those trainers are them been in the gym for many years, and they see what type of fighter Terrence is. And I see it too. And you see it too. So I'm not surprised that 99.9% of the trainers out there pick Terrence. Only person probably not picking Terrence is Derrick James.
Well, yeah, it's his fighter. I would hope he's not picking against his own guy. That could be kind of bad.
Yeah, I was just talking shit, man.
Hey, you know, a lot's been said though about Errol's work rate. The amount of punches he throws in the round, and people brought up, hey, if Terrence starts off slow, he could see himself being 4 or 5 rounds down. That's not good, you know. And then he's trying to play catch up. You're shaking your head. You're disagreeing already. Let me know.
Because, man, any I don't know, man. I'll look good against you if you stood in front of me. Am I right or wrong?
Probably.
All right, then. It's real simple. It's real simple.
But a lot of people would say, well, Spence keeps him there because of his power. Like, where these guys can't do anything because he's cutting the ring off. He's shooting that jab where, you know, he's not giving these guys a lot of options.
Well, man, you know, Terrence is different, man, and the world knows that. That's why he's a favorite. That's why you know, majority of the picks is going towards Terrence's way. So, you know, obviously, Terrence know how to take away whatever a fighter that he might be sending in front of, take it away from him to make him look ordinary. There's been many fighters out there that say, "Oh, this is his greatest test," and he looked like it's a sparring match, and then he doesn't get any credit, you know. And I bet you this: I bet you when Bud beat his ass, it's gonna be an excuse. They're gonna move the goalposts back a little bit further.
What are they gonna say?
Something. They're gonna come up with something.
Yeah.
Watch. Now, I would say something bad about Errol, but I might get threatened for my life again. Can you believe a 14-year-old girl threatened me for my life?
Wait, when did this happen? And over what?
Oh my God.
Over what?
Over Errol.
Over Errol?
I swear to God.
What'd you say?
I'm just saying now.
Yeah.
She gonna threaten me again. She probably 18 now. So she probably get to carry a pistol now, you know.
You know, you're speaking with Terrence in a dream scenario. So he does beat Errol, and the rematch happens. When for you guys, when that happens,
So I'm stopping the interview until you say.
Boxing is carnal, man. Boxing is carnal. See, boxing is carnal, and there's a whole heap of egos that go into boxing. That's why the man say, you know why I'm saying that I'm too much about Errol Spence. He might get threatened for his life. It's carnal, and there's a whole heap of egos, and you got mad stalker fans taking it to extremes. So it's good that we're not into that. You know, the man name of the Lord, but we're into another form of fighting, which is the, as Bruce Lee said, we're mastering the art of fighting without fighting, and we're learning. You know, from the time we came into this truth, some of us may have been into some of the other, you know, the brutalism, the sport of boxing or any other kind of martial arts in the carnal. That's the carnal world. But now we're entered into the spiritual world. In this truth, now we're mastering, and it's an ongoing fight and study, mastering the art of fighting without fighting. And I like that phrase there, what Bruce Lee said in the movie Enter the Dragon. We're mastering the art of fighting without fighting, and it's good. It's good because you hear these mad fans and egos that goes around in boxing, you know. But let's carry on. I want to play out the whole of it because there's a teaching moment what I'm bringing out. We're going to hit some precepts.
When that happens, you know, ideally, he's speaking with Terrence in a dream scenario. So he does beat Errol, and the rematch happens. When for you guys, when that happens, you know, he's speaking with Terrence in a dream scenario. So he does beat Errol, and the rematch happens. When for you guys. When that happens,
So I'm stopping the interview until you say when.
when that happens, you know, ideally, is he gonna go to 54, try to take on Charlo to get those belts? Like, have you guys thought that out yet?
I think there's a rematch clause in there.
Yeah.
I think even if they go up to 54, if I'm not mistaken, but that's probably ideally what we should do, is to move up and go after who's ever up there.
And then is that it? That's a career. That's a wrap. You think?
It's probably getting close, you know, because he's accomplished a lot in the game, so maybe he should.
It'd be a crazy way out.
It'd be a historic way out.
Yeah, it would. Where do you think it would place him all time if he's able to with this win and then on top of that?
Top five, top five.
You could have that on your hands.
Well, yeah, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. You know, fighters like that don't come around often. They challenge themselves to get to that next level.
Yeah. All right, Bomac.
I might get threatened for my life again. There are many fighters out there that say, "Oh, this is his greatest test," and he looked like it's a sparring match, and then he doesn't get any credit, you know. And I bet you this. I bet you when Bud beat his ass, it's gonna be an excuse. They're gonna move the goalposts back a little bit further.
What do you think it say?
Something. They're gonna come up with something.
Yeah.
Watch. Now, I would say something bad about Errol, but
Right, there's gonna be an excuse. Crawford trainer Bomac says excuses will come from Spence once Terence Crawford finishes him. That was a month ago interview. We've got another interview here, and I'm not gonna play the videos. I'm gonna just let you hear the audio. Cause yeah, as you do, you catch up on some of the aftermath of the fights. And I listen to trainers anyway. I've always been into boxing. My older brother was into it, big time, and I've always been into it. And it's a good thing the most I never let me get into it 100%, because I'm into something even better than that, much higher, fighting for the truth, yeah, fighting for those crowns. And mastering and learning the art of fighting without fighting. And I like that. I'll keep saying it, that Bruce Lee was right, man, you know. But hey, check out this other audio clip of, they did say there were going to be excuses. Some of us who study the art of boxing, the art of the art of war, you kind of might know some things. Let's just check out another interview from Timothy Crawford. Timothy Bradley, another ex-former boxer. Timothy Bradley, emotional plea to Errol Spence on rematch, sends worst message. Evaluate your health. Evaluate your health. Anyway, let's just check it out. A picture paints a
Going
thousand
back
words.
to Crawford Spence, Errol Spence was very game, was ready to keep coming until, Harvey Dock did stop that fight. Was it at all, tough to watch on the end of Errol Spence? I know Crawford's your guy and you picked him for years, but was that at all, tough to watch on the end of Errol Spence? And best advice for Errol Spence Jr. going forward?
No, it wasn't tough to watch. It wasn't tough to watch, and that could have been Crawford on the other end of that.
Yeah, it's boxing.
It could have been Crawford on the other end of that. So no, it wasn't tough to watch for me at all. I just feel that Spence. This is how I feel about Spence's team and everybody. A part of Spence, and why this fight has been delayed so long. And their plan. We've been talking about Al Heyman and how genius he is and so on and so forth. Well, your plan failed. Spence, your plan failed. You thought you was going to stall out my man. You thought you was going to stall out Crawford. You thought you was going to catch him slipping. You literally thought you was going to catch him slipping. At the end of the day, you thought you was going to age him out. You thought you was going to let him run away. That's the problem. You waited too long. Spence, you waited too long. Al, you waited too long. You should have done this fight 3-4 years ago. You probably would have had a better chance of beating him. You would have had a way better chance of beating him. So your plan failed you. Your plan failed you, man. So that's just it. They had a plan, and Spence alluded to it early when they met and in the backstage at a fight. When he's like, I'm gonna take care of what I got over here, and then I'm gonna finally fight you or whatever. That was the time when you was at your very, very best mentally, physically, and all that. You should have fought him then. And you waited to fight him later, and this is the outcome. This is what you get. No excuses. Everybody, all the Spence fans out there making excuses, weight drain, this, that, all that. It's a part of the game. What about the 4 or 5 years that Terrence had to wait for you to finally sign on the contract? What about that? What about all the ridicule and everything he went through because the fight didn't get made a couple of times or the first time? Talked about, name dragged through the mud. What about that? So, no excuses. You got Spence being a man, standing on his own 2 feet, not making no excuses for this. No excuses. Your fans out there, the Errol Spence fans, and whatever they call themselves. I forget. It's like Earl. I've been seeing a whole lot of names. It's been funny. But anyways, y'all cannot make excuses for your man, bro. Stop making excuses for him, bro. It was fair game. Both these guys out on the dotted line, and the best man won. And I'm gonna tell you this. Even if the fight happened 5 years ago, outcome was going to be the same. The outcome was going to be the same. And if you want to come at 154, the outcome is going to be the same. And I'm telling you this, because you're not going to, Spence is who he is. Ain't nothing going to change about you, bro. You can go back, you can go get the Wizard of Oz to help you, give you a special trait, or you drink a special drink and give you other gifts or whatever. Bro, I'm letting you know, you easy to read. And you cannot be easy to read when you're in a ring with a great fighter that can make adjustments and that can read you like a book. You're not going to do well. It's going to be worse the second time for you. Worse. Because now he's already felt you. He's felt your strength. He's felt your power. And now he knows what he can do. And so he's going to start sooner. Just to prove a point. And trust me, he's going to do the same thing, exact thing he did, and it's going to be successful the second time around. Even more. So, Spence, good luck moving forward, B. You made a lot of money in your career. I know you don't want to go out like this, bro. I get it. You don't want to go out like this. I understand, man. But you need to evaluate your health. You need to evaluate you getting back in the ring and the risks that come along with that, especially with a fighter of Crawford's nature. Maybe you need to have a couple of fights, man. Have a couple of fights. Bro, you didn't have a fight for a whole year and you get in the ring with Crawford? Come on, man. Where's the come on. You're killing me. You're killing me, guys. Come on, Al. You better than this, man. A whole year off? Crawford fought in December. You know he was coming in sharp. You ain't fought since August. That's been a long time. And he got in the ring. So, look. If I was Spence, this is what I would do. I would take some time off. And I would
Now, I'm going to say something here. Because I saw the video of Virgil Hunter, the trainer of Andre Ward, and that emotional plea he said to Spence, evaluate your health. This is very similar, but with Virgil Hunter, they asked him the question, same question, do you think he should rematch Terence Crawford? Should Errol Spence rematch Terence Crawford? That was the question, and I noticed Virgil Hunter, he let out a sigh. He let out a sigh because he was torn between his trainer and his trainer acumen and his ability to be able to break down from an emotional point of view, an analytical point of view. He said from a fighter point of view, yeah, they should. He should rematch him. But you understand there's a lot of ego and pride. That's from a boxer's point of view, from an ego perspective, an analytical perspective. But from a father perspective, because he sighed and he put on his father's hat and he said, no, he shouldn't. He's been through a lot. Errol Spence has been through a lot, and he went into a lot of, nitty-gritties and bits and pieces that Errol Spence has put himself through. He hasn't got the idea of resting, and he was a good trainer. But they call Virgil Hunter Darth Vader because of his analytical approach to boxing. His the art of war. His approach to boxing is from a analytical, cold, dark, usually, and very you might call him the what's that word? You might call him the guru. You might call Virgil Hunter the guru of boxing, because he's up there, he's high up there from an analytical perspective, from an acumen perspective, from an intuitive perspective. He understands the pluralism of boxing, and I've always listened to Virgil Hunter, and I watch boxing, man, and I just use it as a hobby, like I say, but I pick up certain things and apply it in my fight, because every day you get up in a Babylon, the mother of Babylon, old Babylon over there in America, you got to have your acumen fighting head on. You got to keep your head in a swivel. So even though I didn't get into the boxing in the world, which I was into it, my family was into it, I myself was into it, and even when I wasn't doing it, I was doing it in my mind, like I'm still doing it in my mind. I'm still fighting in my mind. The first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is shadow box, and I sometimes ask myself, what the freaking am I? Why are you doing that? Why is it? Every day without fail, I'm into some form of something regarding in warfare in my mind, and I'm not talking about carnally. I'm talking about on some kind of level. I'm visualizing fighting, and even as far back as I can remember, having visions of those type of things, man. And then dealing with people in my visions and dreams. Before the truth, people may try to do things to me in the vision, right? Because there's certain things me not got talk on YouTube, right? There's certain things we wouldn't talk. But in my visions, man tried to deal with me, come with all kind of weaponry and armory, and I just disarmed him with my bare hands. And those are visions, and I've always had those type of visions regularly, and I still get them. But it's not always good for not everything good for see, good for talk. But yeah, I follow the art of boxing. But yeah, what he did, Virgil Hunter, he summed it up very well on that video. I went into that. I listened to it, and I said, yeah, some common sense there. And you know, boxing is a very egotistical sport. But now is a good thing. The Most High said that he put me in something much higher. I recognize I'm in something far superior what I'm into right now. A potential man of the Lord, a potential elect. And what we're going to be doing is going to be on our next level. On the next level. But that's another video, what we're going to be doing. What Jeremiah 16 and 16, what we're going to be doing. Yeah, right now we're just fishing. Soon we're going to be hunting. And that's when it all starts. But this puts you in the mood, man. When I watch boxing, it does put me in a certain kind of frame of mind. I ain't even going to lie. But we're learning now. Like I say, the art of war and the art of fighting without fighting. Let's finish off this video. I'm going to hit maybe one or two precepts to end it off.
Reevaluate if I want to continue to do this. If I was Spence, this is what I would do. I would take some time off. I would take some time off and I would reevaluate if I want to continue to do this. You know? I'm not telling him to retire, but I'm just saying, after what I just witnessed Saturday night, bro, you got some questions, bro, to ask yourself, and you got some talking to do with your family. You know, because if I'm your kid, if I'm your son and your daughter watching this, I'm like, man, Daddy, there ain't no point, Dad. We got everything we need. Dad, you a great fighter, Dad. You know, you gonna be in the Hall of Fame someday, Dad. Why keep taking this punishment, Pops? There's no point, Pops. You ain't got nothing to prove. You ain't got nothing to prove. Hey, Crawford was just better that night. That's it. Let's leave it at that, Dad. You don't have to operate the rematch. Not at all. Don't do it. You know, and I'm hearing everybody talking about, oh, the rematch at 154, it'll be better. Do you understand that Crawford gets to pick the weight? If Crawford wants to fight him at 47 again, Spence has to say, agree to that? Do you understand that? So why would Crawford do it at 54 when he can make 47 and be strong?
I'll tell you right now, Crawford's going to do it at 54. He said he's going to do it, and I believe him. He said he's going to be even stronger. And yeah, man, let that ego, let Errol Spence, let that ego go, man. Let that ego go, man. The man's better than you. You know what Timothy Bradley just said? Yeah, he's got the intuitivity, he's got the acumen, he's got what it takes. He's got the eyes, he's got the instincts.
The next mission for
and he's just better than you.
Crawford is his teammate. That's the next mission. The next mission, and look, and I already know how it's gonna go. All right, trust me. When Charlo go up and he face Canelo and get knocked the hell out, and then he come back and he face if he comes back and he fights against Crawford, and Crawford knocks him the hell out, they gonna say, oh, well, Canelo damaged him, this and that, this and that. He don't get the credit. He don't get the credit. You know, so I know how that's gonna go. Crawford's gonna go down as one of the best welterweights or one of the best fighters of all time. Of all time. Top 10. All time. I'm telling you right now. Because when you look skill for skill, and you look at a lot of these guys in the past, they were fantastic fighters. Crawford matches up well against these guys. Skill for skill. He has everything. And he can do it from both sides. Tell me a guy that had everything and can do it from both sides. I can tell you one. Marvin Hagler. One. And maybe even Sugar Ray Robinson. Second time around. Even more. He's felt your strength. He's felt your power. And you know, you easy to read. And you cannot be close to help you, give you a special trait, or you drink to help you, give you a special trait, or you drink a special drink and give you other gifts or whatever. Bro, I'm letting you know this is who he is. ain't nothing gonna change about you, bro. You can go back. You can go get the Wizard of Oz to help you, give you a special trait, or you drink a special drink and give you other gifts or whatever. Bro, I'm letting you know, you easy to read, and you cannot be easy to read when you're in the ring with a great fighter that can make adjustments and that can read you like a book. You're not gonna do well. It's gonna be worse the second time for you. Worse.
Woo! Nah, I won't leave it there, man. Yeah, Tim Bradley, emotional plea to Errol Spence on rematch, and he sends the message, man. So it's too easy for Terence Crawford because you're easy to read, and he reads you like a book. And I saw when I was watching the fight, I saw he catches Terence Crawford catches Errol Spence in no man's land every time, in between the punches, coming in before the punches, or punching, jabbing with the jabber, or in between the clinches, or letting go of the clinches. He's punching, and as you saw here, every time Errol Spence tried to step up the game, tried to come in hard, he was hit. There was a retaliation. Terence Crawford retaliated even harder. So that's for the 3 times he was knocked down. It was the times when he was coming in aggressively, and he ended up on his ass. So the more aggressive you get with Terence Crawford, it always backfires on you, because you haven't got the acumen, and he just reads you like a book. He just reads you like a book. And I like what Bomac said too. He says, Terence Crawford, Bomac says, excuses will come from Spence once we finish him. So I'm going to leave it there, man. And, you know, he's an egotistical sport. Very egotistical. But you see, I using this as a teaching moment to get into some precepts. We're going to end off now. We're going to end off there.
Do I bother you?
Don't waste yourself.
What's your style?
My style? You can call it the art of fighting without fighting.
The art of fighting without fighting?
That's it. Now let's end up and hit some precepts. The aggressor there, they look like the Jewish, Russian, one of them Russian tough-looking guys coming up to Bruce Lee in the Enter of the Dragon movie, and shaping up in front of him, shadow boxing in front of him, and he's saying, so what's your style? In other words, because Bruce Lee just standing there looking at him in his eye. Ain't you intimidated by me? Look at the size of me. Look at the size of you. Ain't you intimidated by me? Bruce Lee says, and he asks him, what's your style? Bruce Lee says, you can call it the art of fighting without fighting. Right? So precepts come to mind. We're going to end it off. I can go on doing videos like this, but I only do them few and far between. Just like when it comes to like some of the big boxing matches, I do them usually. These type of videos, because it is my outlet, man. Boxing, and even boxing training today, but the boxing training alone gives me an outlet. It relieves a lot of stress, and I've done some videos on what I like to do, you know, aka training in certain ways as far as boxing. But you know what, I always bear in mind the training we do now is temporary. Like Timothy said, training is temporary. It's beneficial for a little, but there is some benefits in training. But I always bear in mind we're going to get new bodies anyway. So yeah, people train in the world like there's no tomorrow, don't they? You see them every day out there jogging. You know, the Edomite man and woman out there every day jogging, trying to keep their immune system strong. They're they're training for fear of dying early, because they know that they're very recessive people. They're weak people, so they do that every day. More or less every day. They jog a lot. They run like there's no tomorrow. You know, they do all sorts of different things to stay young, and they still end up growing old prematurely anyway. But we don't have to do that on the extremes, because the Most High says, yeah, man, we're going to get new bodies anyway. We know we're in Abarat Azar with those men. Yeah, I'm going to hit some precepts, man, to make the point. Exodus chapters 14 and 14, one of my favorites, says, And we won't read 13. It says, and Moses said unto the people, fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will show you today. For the Egyptians whom you have seen today, ye shall see them again no more. Right? And who's the modern day Egyptians today? The wicked, the E's them, who are over us up to this very day. But when they was coming out of Egypt, a lot of the rebels were being fearful, and they was limping on one leg, and Moses had to keep telling them, man, stand still. In 14 it says, the Lord shall fight for you, for ye and ye shall hold your peace. The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. Yeah? I read 13 again. For Moses said unto the people, fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, which he shall show to you today. For the Egyptians whom you have seen today, ye shall see them again no more. And this is what we do when it comes to the art of feudalism. What Bruce Lee just said. The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. Yeah? So we're mastering the art of fighting. The art of fighting without fighting. There you have it. That's exactly what the scripture just said there. You know, in not so many words. 1 Timothy 6 and 12 says, fight the good fight of faith. Lay hold on eternal life. So what we fight for? This is what we're fighting for. Lay hold of eternal life, whereunto thou art also called, and hast professed a good profession before many witnesses. Yeah, this is what we fight for. And we fight differently. We fight differently. And these scriptures are backing up how we fight. Yeah? Bruce Lee just said it. 2 Timothy 14 and 7 says, I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. This is Timothy going in. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown. Right, man. And the emphasis on the word fight. I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me. Right. So this is what we're fighting for, man. That crown. And yeah, Terence Crawford, he's got a strong will, as well as the acumen and the intuitivity, the instincts to get that carnal crown. He's got a strong will, as Bomac, his trainer, was saying. Yeah, he said, Errol Spence is gonna break him. He said, well, that's just putting fuel on the fire. Errol Spence saying he's gonna break me, he's putting fuel on the fire. Yeah, them is what they done to our ancestors. Yeah, the Jim Crow, the alligator bait, the lynching in the book Without Century, all those things. What does that do? The Most High puts the spirit in us even more. He just puts fuel in the fire. You understand? This is what I'm using this for, a teaching moment. Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness. Because yeah, man, the Most High says, Romans chapter 12, yeah, vengeance is mine, I will repay. So that is why we're reading these precepts here. Yeah, which the Lord, the righteous judge, give to me at that day, and not to me only, but to all them also that love his appearing. Yeah, man. So all we've got to do is stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Vengeance is mine, Romans chapters 12. I will repay. Right? That is why I use that little clip there, man. And this is the wrestling that we have too. Today, right? As we speak. Yeah, Ephesians chapter 6. This is what's going on as we speak in the spirit. 12 says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the world, of the darkness. Yeah, because the wrestling you see in the spirit carnal world, you know, they're wrestling for their little medals, their little medals, what they get, their carnal crowns. MMA, the fighting, that's wrestling, and wrestling itself, and it's all wrestling, boxing, MMA, jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, it's all wrestling, but they're wrestling for a carnal crown. But what do? We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. But most importantly, if we stand still and let the Most High fight for us by doing His work, fulfilling the will of the Lord, prayer, praying on the Lord, praying and giving Him glory, sanctifying His name. Matthew and Yahushua spoke about that when He was on the earth, in the Lord's Prayer, in the Laquan Kodash as well. That Lord Prayer is a powerful weapon against the wrestling against the spiritual forces. Those prayers, man, and fasting too. That's another addition I've added to my arsenal, as well as the shield of faith, as it goes on to read. So these are things that we use in order to fight and wrestle against the wicked spiritual forces out there. Backed by Yahweh Shemeshah himself. So why shouldn't we win? We've got to, as long as we endure to the end, and we've got the blueprint, Hebrews chapters 12 and 1 talks about Yahushua, what he did, man. So we can't say we ain't got all the help we need. The men of the Lord, the elders and the apostles, the pioneers of this truth, Abba Bibbins, High Priest Ariah, King Marsha, those men that pioneered before us, they're the blueprints, as well as all the prophets, man, the examples we could look to. That's the fight that we have. So let's read this one of my favorites, man. Jeremiah 16:16, it says, Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord, and they shall fish them. And after I will send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill, and out of the holes of the rock. Wait thee upon me until I rise up to the prey. That's what the Most High is saying there. Because we enjoy the fishing. We enjoy doing the fishing, but there's going to be something even on the icing on the cake. It's going to be what? The hunting. Right? And that's when it really starts. Zephaniah chapter 3, this is the last one. Zephaniah chapter 3 and 8 says, Therefore wait thee upon me, saith the Lord, until the day. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation. The key word there is to wait thee upon me. Because the Most High says he's going to do what? He's going that he may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation. Even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. The Spirit to do another video. The house of David is rising, and everything the wicked have done to us, past, present, and future, is falling upon their own head. So this, I just use it as a teaching moment. The proof is in the pudding, and we are learning today, and we're in a fight today, but we're learning the art of fighting without fighting.
Don't waste yourself.
What's your style?
My style? You can call it the art of fighting without fighting. My style? You can call it the art of fighting without fighting.
What's your style?
My style? You can call it the art of fighting without fighting. Don't waste yourself.
What's your style?
My style? You can call it the art of fighting without fighting.